Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This whole week we've been talking about resilience. We talked about just resilience in life in general. We've talked about resilience with Amy Downs and sort of redefining her life after a horrific situation. If you didn't get a chance to listen to that replay of that podcast, I highly recommend it because it was one of my favorite out of 750. It was in my top 5 favorite interviews that I did, and I really want to encourage you to check that out. All right, today though, we are talking about resilience with your workout. So, can we talk about that moment that your routine gets thrown off and suddenly everything stops? You get sick or you tweak something, you're feeling exhausted. And instead of just adjusting your routine, you quit. Not because you're lazy, but because you don't know what still showing up is. You feel like if you can't show up in the way you've always shown up, then let's not show up at all. I can't work out because I've been sick. But what could you do? What could you still do? So today I'm going to show you how you can stay consistent with your workouts even when you're not at 100% without making things worse, because resilience in fitness isn't about pushing harder. It's about knowing how to adjust. I want you to think about that for a minute. Resilience with your workouts isn't about pushing through or working harder. It's about knowing how and when to adjust. So that is what we are going to cover. We've got a few tips for you here. So please hit subscribe, like what you hear today. And if you really like what you hear, you can share it with a friend. And that's always really wonderful too. All right. So tip 1 is define what is your modified workout. So if there is something that is not feeling well, then you have to say, okay, what can I do and what can I not do? Most people are all or nothing people. I'm an all or nothing kind of a gal, and I've had to train myself and work really hard at not being an all or nothing person. But most of us, our inclination is to be that way. So we don't want to be that way. We want to be, what can I do today? What can I do right now? What can I do instead of? That's how I want you to start to think about not only your workout routine, but about anything if you get thrown off, if your schedule gets thrown off. Sometimes we don't have the same allotted time because maybe your time got interrupted, but you can still do something for 15 minutes. That's when I'll throw in my power hour and just say, okay, I can do a 15 minutes right now, no matter what. I will go do my wall sit and my plank, which might be 6 minutes and 3 minutes or 4 minutes and 5 minutes. And I can get that done within that 15-minute window. And that's 2 of my isometric exercises that are really healthy for me and are still really, really good. So, you want to think about a modified workout. So I'm going to give you an example for me. I have a problem, and that problem is with my rotator cuff. So I heard it many, many years ago, and it took going to physical therapy, and it actually, what really helped it. I went to physical therapy for months, and then I went to Pilates. Because the physical therapist said, I think you should try to go to Pilates and tell her you specifically want to work on your rotator cuff. That is how it got better. And that is also how I fell in love with Pilates. But I have to be careful of that. So when I started doing weights and I was doing push-ups specifically, I got to a point where every day or every other day I was doing 100 push-ups. And all of a sudden it started tweaking again and I started having a problem. And so then I quit doing all of my arm exercises and I wasn't doing any push-ups. So then I was like, no, this is not good. So I went back and I read 2 things. I Googled what aggravates your rotator cuff. So push-ups was one of them. So I'm like, okay, I need to lay off push-ups for a while. And when I do introduce push-ups back, I don't have to go in at 100. Like I like this just something for me because I'm kind of competitive with myself. I like to do 100, but I don't have to do 100. Like I can modify that, and I have, but I cut them out for a long time. These side lifts and front lifts, that's not really good for a rotator cuff either. But there's things, what can you do to strengthen your rotator cuff? So I actually looked up exercises on that. So I did modify, but some of my arm workouts, they're like, these are really good for helping it. So I was like, okay, so I just had to change what I was doing and modify it, not quit working my arms out altogether. So, and that's a perfect example. And that is something that I just went through recently. I'm still kind of going through it. It's almost back to the point where it's not hurting when I put my arm up over my head, which is where I was at again. And all it takes, the weirdest thing with your rotator cuff is a weird tweak or you lean back. I have to be really careful not to try to reach back and behind in the back seat of the car, like not to put my arm back, but to turn my whole body so I'm looking forward, and certainly not do it when I'm driving down the road, because that motion will completely throw it out. And now that I know it, it's like, no, don't be silly and don't do it. All right, so modified workout, not stopping your workout. Recognize the difference between I am sore or I'm injured. So I did an intense leg workout at the gym and I was so sore, like so sore. And so the next day, obviously, I wasn't going to do weights with my legs, but I was so sore that it was like, wow, that I really, I hadn't done legs the Wednesday before because the trainer was out of town and I had just did some modified thing at home. So then I really worked hard and it was just really sore. So the next day I was like, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. Like I didn't feel like doing anything, but I wasn't injured. I was just super sore. So I did two things. One, I did some stretches. So I made sure to stretch those muscles out. And then I decided to go for a walk. And at first the walk was like, oh my goodness. But by the time I was done with the walk, it actually was really, really good for my muscles. So instead of babying your muscles when you're sore, maybe stretch them, maybe do some movement in them because you might surprise yourself. You might have to just go lighter, but don't avoid the workout routine altogether. So understand the difference between being sore or being injured. Also understand the difference of when you're not feeling good and when you are sick. So there is a difference. Not feeling good is maybe something's not feeling good. Maybe you got a little bit of a headache. Maybe you're having a little bit of a stomach ache. So you wouldn't want to do anything with your abs. Like if I'm not feeling good, I go lighter. If I'm sick, that's a different story. If you have the flu or you've got a bad cold or, you're having issues, like that's a different story altogether. But identify, am I sore or am I injured? Am I not feeling well or am I sick? Because that will determine how you decide to show up. And this is important. All right, next tip. Lower your bar on purpose. I kind of already talked about this. So, I'm at a point where I do my isometrics and I love them and there's like 5 of them that I do and I try to do them every day if I can. But I don't get to it every day. So as long as I can do it every other day, but if I can do it every day, do several days in a row, it's a happy day. One is a wall sit, one is a plank, one is a hang. The V sit one, that's where you sit on your butt and sit like in a V. I don't do that one as much. I do that sometimes. So it's not an everyday one for me. And then I do a squat. And I really like doing just a single squat, not squats where I do that like when I'm working out my legs, like every other day or every 3 days, and I'll do squats with dumbbells. But this is just a sitting squat for like, you can work it up like 10 minutes or however long that you can work up to. So I can do a 10-minute one, and sometimes I like to do 3 of those, so I get in 30 minutes. Other days I don't, and I only get in 1 10-minute. Or some days I'm just not feeling it, and I get in 7 minutes or 8 minutes. Guess what? Lower the bar. It's okay. It's better to lower the bar instead of not doing it at all. And some days I do a plank, and I can now I've worked my way up. So I started where I could barely do 30 seconds. I'm not kidding you. And now I've gradually worked it up where I can do a 4-minute plank. And I'm pretty happy with myself. And my goal is to get to a 5-minute plank. So the next stop will be 4:30, and then it will be 5 minutes, right? That's how I do it. I usually try to add either 15 seconds or 30 seconds to my isometrics. But the other day I went to do the plank, and I did a minute and a half, and I was exhausted. And so I was like, okay, that's all for today. And I checked it off as I did it for that day. I think that when we lower the bar on purpose, it's okay. Especially if maybe you're not feeling just so hot. You're not sick, but maybe you're just feeling a little, like tired, or you're feeling whatever. Don't avoid your workout altogether just because you're feeling a little off. Just lower the bar on your expectations. Instead of maybe I like to do 4 sets of reps. And I like to do like 12 to 15 at each setting. So maybe do 8, and maybe only do 3 sets of the 8. But this is what sort of lowering the bar is, but you're still getting in some exercise. What this will do more than anything else is keep you in the routine, because the worst thing, I've gone now, I think 4 days without doing anything, and the worst thing is now I got to get back in, because if you get out of a routine and it lasts longer than a week, it's going to be tough for you to start again. And that's ridiculous, especially like I've been doing it for, a year now, a serious year. I started in June, like getting serious about working out last year. And I have to say that, like, when you get those 5 days, you got to make yourself get back on. But if you just modify your workouts where maybe you're not doing the whole thing, I have a whole routine that I do, but maybe I only do part of it. And then that keeps me in my timing, in my routine, so that I'm not giving up on it altogether, because losing your routine and building a new routine that doesn't include your workouts, that's the danger zone. That is when it becomes the danger zone. Okay, now tip 4 is protect the habit, not the workout. I kind of just talked about that. So you want to protect your habit. So I usually work out in the mornings. This is what I do in the morning. This is what I like to do at 5 o'clock. And this is what I will do later in the evening. So I break mine up. So protect your habit, not necessarily all that you do in that time frame. Okay, and last tip is know when rest is the workout. So what that means is, yes, it's okay to have a rest day, and that's part of your workout routine. So build that rest in, or just say, you know what, some days I just, and I kind of, I don't like this about myself, and I'm going to listen to my own training here, but like there'll be days where I'm like, I'm not feeling it today. Well, you know what? Do something. Just do a modified version. But it's okay also to say, today is going to be my rest day. I'm going to have a rest day. But that means that if you had a rest day scheduled for later in the week, then change it up. Change up that. So you're kind of changing the workout, not the habit. All right. So that is, wow, I am working really hard to keep these at 15 minutes. That's been the goal. When I first started doing these, I was like running 30 to 40 minutes and people were dropping off. And so it's like, nope, you've got to get these to 15 minutes. So I've been averaging 18 and I'm feeling pretty good. So today we're at 15 minutes and I feel like, woohoo, we're right on. So if you like what you heard today, then hit subscribe, hit like. I appreciate it. It does help with more people seeing it, getting pushed out. They say it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, but I'll tell you what, it only takes 7 days to lose one. And that's the truth of it. So let's work at don't lose that habit. Just modify your workout. So we want to stick with our habits because that's going to be important, even if you do one small thing. So thanks everybody for showing up today. I enjoyed this conversation this week on resilience. I think everybody's kind of needing it. Everybody's feeling a little overwhelmed with everything going on in the world, and with uncertainty always makes everything seem a lot of times worse in other areas of our lives. So I just hope that all this tips that we did on how to stay resilient and be strong and work your way through some of the challenges that you might be having. And the biggest thing about resilience is understanding that everybody is just like you. Like, you're not alone in this. Everybody is faced with these same things. You're not unique. Something isn't happening to you. It's life, and life happens. And it happens to different people at different times, but everybody's going to be faced with life's challenges. So our best bet is going to be learning resilience and being able to still be able to show up, but to work through and to give yourself some grace and not feel like you've got to be the strongest person in the room 100% of the time. So hope this was helpful for you. You can go back and listen to the other ones we've did this week. We try to stick to a theme each week so that you kind of get some really great perspectives on different areas of your life. I'm Belinda Ellsworth. Thanks again for showing up today, and we'll see you again next week.